now because somebody reporting this stuff.
Somebody hating.
Yeah, man, Trey Carson.
If you want a hoodie that bad, just let me know, man.
Yeah.
It ain't gotta be that real, you know.
A man getting blocked for posting his own apparel.
That's what they sent you?
On
In the email or something?
it's against Facebook community, something whatever.
Yeah, you been reported or something, they said. I said, bro, that's crazy.
Hey, that is funny though.
Hey, you don't know how mad I was yesterday though. I was mad.
Cause I don't get why you wanna post somebody for posting their business and but you see ads and stuff on Facebook all day long.
My thing is,
the difference of it is they pay for them ads probably. Is what they doing.
They scared of how much traffic I'm getting for free.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Man.
Oh boy, it's
I
crazy.
just tell you nothing their friend life, right? It just
Hey, but check this out, man. For the people that's watching right now, the people that'll go back and watch later, I need y'all to take some time out your day and say a prayer for my boy Marcus Burris. He's down there in College Station. He's gonna get moved in today, so he'll be out on his own in this world. So I need y'all to pray the Lord protect him while he's down there and keep him safe and healthy and all that good stuff.
that's what's up.
Yes, sir.
Man, we had another kid, cause he on fire here lately. Cause this is his third offer. But shout out to Derrick Brown Jr. Texas High Tigers. He got his third D1 offer
Houston, right?
from University of Houston.
How about that record he set yesterday?
On that vertical.
Vertical record.
Yeah.
What was it, 36 and a half?
36 and a half.
Now they can't be I don't necessarily. It may be the record for his position,
Might be.
but he ain't out jumping Quan.
Oh, no.
So
He might got a 40.
huh?
Well, you never know, because sometimes when coaches beat her
No,
down,
but
they
he-
don't
but-
be testing.
See, but I don't necessarily know if they was doing, but they said his is the 40 Quan.
That's why I said I know he
Yeah.
probably 40,
How
but
tall is Quan?
5'8".
he like 5'8", but he can dunk though.
Yeah, however you want to.
That makes it even better, crazier.
Yeah.
That he's 5'8",
Oh, he can-
got a 40 vertical.
Hey, they said they can't hear us. Hey, Corey, can you hear us now, Corey? Mr. Jones. But
yeah, that boy. Sometimes they don't be testing it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I mean, I just find it hard to believe that somebody's just outperformed him as far as in that vertical.
No, I don't think nobody did either. But what I'm saying is, if he did break the record, they probably didn't test Quan. You know what I'm saying?
Good.
Shoot, man. Today's show, man. It's gonna be because we're gonna talk, the title game from last night, tomorrow, and all the other good stuff that's been going on. But if you ask me, man, today's show is gonna be something that needs to be talked about. It's gonna be no mental health in sports.
Mm-hmm.
And how it affects, I guess, the people, your teammates, your coaches, even the player. If you ask me, this is a serious matter when it comes to mental health, and I think it's like oftentimes overlooked. It's oftentimes made fun of, in which it's a serious matter, serious that most folks cannot imagine, especially if you don't deal with it.
Right.
If you don't deal with it, you can hit high, point the finger, and laugh. But if you live with it or having to deal with it on a daily basis, it ain't no he and high.
Right. Or if you done seen somebody that you know deal with it, it's a serious matter. It ain't something it's something that gets swept under the rug, but it shouldn't be. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Because it's a real thing. Like it ain't. This is a real thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a lot of it's brought on, man, with from, you getting real deep and deeper underlying conditions, health conditions, family, home life, a lot of issues that are brought to the light that nobody know about. Like an individual can't explain why they're dealing with stuff like they deal with.
Yeah.
Especially in today's time, man. I know Donnie posted a lot of stuff about PTSD and a lot of,
Yeah.
things that are going on.
Yeah, because you never know you know what triggers it. Just like you said, it can be something based off your childhood, something that maybe could have happened. You know, you never know.
Right, and I see often guys when they done playing a sport,
Yeah,
they don't know what to do with themselves. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So they kind of like mentally, they you know, I don't know if it's depression. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? But it's like they kind of lose themselves a little bit. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Well, not even a little bit. Some of them lose it all the way. You know, just don't know what to do with themselves. Been playing the sport so long. Now when they done, they go through a lot of mental issues, and people really need help. It's not something that you laugh at. He don't know what to do with this. Like, that's a serious matter. Like, I've been playing this game my whole life,
Right.
and I've been this superstar my whole life. But now when you done playing, people treating you a different way, and some people don't understand it and don't know how to, you know,
Right.
deal with it. And
Well, from the point that I can look at, you know, if you start now with the teenagers in sports, and where it all starts and develops from the pressure to perform, the pressure to be this, the pressure to be that, man, it creates all these different anxieties, and you know, and it starts to form. It starts
Yeah.
to formulate itself at a young age. I mean, I think if you go back and look at the story about Todd Marinovich, was a quarterback growing up, prodigy, with the USC quarterback, and the pressure that his father gave him to perform and be the best, you know, that most of the times it leads to drugs. It leads to different cope because they don't know how to cope with it.
yeah,
They don't.
you're right.
I worked in the healthcare field 17 years, but I talk to people all the time that the people on the street in Texarkana, most, you know, in their drug habits is from PTSD,
mental stuff.
mental disease, the mental
Yeah.
cases they have, and so some of those are your athletes. Some of those kids showing up at school every day in athletics.
Right.
You don't know what dealing with bipolarism and all of those things, so you don't know what's really going on. Most people respond to people like this. Why can't I get you to do something? Why can't you do that? But they could really definitely be dealing with something.
Yeah,
Facts.
for real.
And of course, you know, trauma at an early age, regardless what type of trauma you have to
Right.
deal with, you know, could cause it too.
Man.
But what's crazy though, if any one of us have a mental breakdown right now, it's gonna be talked about. Not the fact it's gonna be talked about like, man, you should y'all see what happened, man. I
It's
hope he
in a
good.
laughing manner, though.
Right.
It'll be entertainment.
Right.
And made fun upon versus like, man, that guy, that girl, man, they may need some help.
Right.
That's where, you know, when it comes to this mental health, that's where it's on God. Like, everybody thinks it's a joke. They want to make fun of it, and it don't be so fun for the people that having to deal with it.
Yeah.
Right. I had a college teammate, and this all public information, you know, so I could talk about it. But I had a college teammate, and he was you know, this all-world athlete. And when we got to school, you know, he was good enough to play as a true freshman. Like, he was good, you know. And we had a big game against Alabama. He played, and you know, he did good in the game, and we won. And all of a sudden, he would always say, I'm gonna see you there. You know what I'm saying? He would always say that. And I was just, you know, I didn't know. So I would go right along with him. I'm like, I'm gonna meet you there, you know, just saying it to him. But after the night after the game, he spent the night in the locker room. And after that, he went missing. He went out walking. He like tried to walk from College Station to Dallas.
Wow.
And so we, you know, as young kids, you young, immature, you might laugh about it, but it was something going on with him,
Yeah.
you know, and nobody took it serious. So till one day, you know, he left school, you know, living on the streets in Dallas. One day he was in the park, and he murdered a woman just going. I mean, it was a man. He murdered a man that was just going on a jog. He stabbed him to death.
I remember that.
You know, he just did it.
I remember that.
And bro, it all stemmed from because nobody took him serious. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Nobody really took him serious for, like, he really had a mental disease that they didn't take serious, and now he's in jail for the rest of his life. all because he did something that he may not even know he was doing.
Right. And I'm gonna segue off of that, man. With you, you think about when life happens, when these things start to formulate. You know, when people telling their kids, man, you ain't gonna be nothing. You know, you're gonna be just like your. You know, you hear most of the time you're gonna be just like your daddy.
Right.
You know, and these stuff starts. These people don't get it, but words are powerful, man.
Man, the power of the tongue.
Yeah, it's about the Bible talks about life and death is in the power of the tongue.
Yeah.
So you start to formulate these things, and you start to build these young minds into telling them they ain't gonna be something.
They believe that.
They
They'll
believe
believe
that
it.
stuff.
They'll believe it.
Because the one moment, the thing that we equate to success is having a lot of money,
Yeah.
and that's really not the play.
Nah, it's
My,
not.
my friend was just sharing with me a guy last night who manages over $600 million, made multiple millions of dollars.
He probably-
Not dead at 50, dead. You know,
Straight.
So you can't look at, you know, and when you put that in those kids' face, that's what you building.
Yeah.
And when they can't achieve something they want, stuff like that happens.
No, for real. And the thing is, I think they said he was schizophrenic.
Yeah. Man, that's
We never knew.
and that's a powerful disorder. Man, that's a hard
Yeah,
disorder.
we never knew, bro. We never knew. And it what's so crazy is, it was like his whole life, man, somebody knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the whole thing. Like, somebody knew, bro. Whether they was in denial or not, somebody knew. And they should have took it serious and not swept it under the rug.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because once you sweep stuff under the rug like that, these are serious matters. Like, these people really have mental diseases. It's not, you know what I'm saying? So,
And if you ask me, I think that part of it's been kind of like watered down because everybody don't. Just because you bad doesn't mean you have a mental illness.
No, it doesn't.
Right.
No, it doesn't.
That just means you just need a belt.
Right.
and you know,
but-
society's so weak nowadays. They think, like, man, you get on here talking about corporal punishment to your kids, they'll be ready to call the police on
Facts.
you.
Right.
I mean, but
And then, don't get me wrong, I'm not with all the really beating your kids.
Yeah.
I'm not with that. You know what I'm saying? That's wrong. I'm not finna beat no kid. But a little spanking, I ain't never heard nobody.
no, I never heard nobody. But like I said, when even in the school system, you know, everybody like I never heard of no ADHD. I never heard of that till I got grown. I heard of a whooping,
Nah, for
and
real.
it'll stop.
Nah, for real. Because one thing about it, I know kids personally, I ain't going to say their name, but when we was in school, they would put them on the ADHD medicine, Ritalin, I want to say it's called. They would put them on that, and them kids would be a shell of themselves. They wouldn't even be themselves.
Yeah.
Like, just sitting there like
Like a powerful drug that just you high all the
you
time.
really going to drug these kids?
You high all the
'Cause you
time
think
and
they
just
gotta-
dull of senses. Yeah.
Because they being a kid. Of course, kids going to have short attention span. Of course, kids going to do kid stuff and be bad. You
That's
know,
what they do.
That's what they do, they kids. But you going to really drug them, though? With,
Yeah. But there are still disciplines. You know,
Yeah.
the Bible. We talked about discipline. You know, spare the rod, spoil the child. You talked about disciplines. You discipline your child. That means you use a belt, but you also discipline them, like teach them.
Yeah.
That's discipline.
Yes.
That, you know, you want them to go to bed at a certain time.
Right.
You want them to make but discipline. You know, if they make it. Our job is to stare the kid, man. Our job is to stare anybody we know. Donnie mentor kids.
Right.
A lot of them. A lot of them
Right.
coming to the gym. So he's trying to teach them disciplines of training and educating. But that's formulating their mind.
Man, I look at parenting like, if you raise your kids all the way up to they grown, and they still like need you, you ain't do it right.
They ain't doing right.
You ain't do it right. When your kids get grown, they should want you around, you know, because you their parents.
Right.
But should they need you as a crutch? Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
And see, and of course, and then it comes with, you know, sports. You know, a lot of whether you're in middle school, high school, collegiate, or NFL, you know, that mental health stuff, it's not like a drug rehab to where, okay, I can go get a rehab and I'm good. No, that's stuff
something
that's
that-
in them.
Yeah, it's something that's weekly that daily. That
Yeah,
you might need to
mhm.
check in and talk to somebody daily.
Yeah.
You know, and I know down there at A&M, the guy who works with the chapel and, you know, do all the church stuff, his name is Mikado.
Mhm.
And he always, you know, had an open door policy for guys
Yeah.
and try to help guys, you know, who may have been going through some, who came from this certain background that need to be checked on. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, so they got that. Some schools do have that.
Yeah, and you need that because you take an athlete. I'm gonna take one that come out of a house of, you know,
Yeah.
a healthy neighborhood, and then take one that come out of a, you know, I'm gonna use the trailer park.
Or the projects.
Or the projects.
Because
It's
we
a-
got a lot. We had a lot of kids that came from Houston, who was from the inner city, like really was from the projects, really be getting their scholarship check, pay their bills, and send the rest of the money back to their
Yeah.
mama because they feel like they have to. They
Yeah.
like that's what they have to
Yeah.
do. So them kind of kids, bro, they need to be checked on. Like
Right.
they had to. Them kids are forced to be grown. Ain't no telling what they was doing before they got there. They forced to do stuff that.
They've been a student and a man.
I mean,
Yeah.
but, I mean, even there was high school kids that
They do
does
that. They do that.
Yeah.
Man, them kids need to be checked on. Are you okay? Like,
And what that formulates down to, that's when the pressure, and that's what, you know, from depression.
Yeah.
That's where all this. If you look at today's society, that's where all this stuff comes from. The pressure to succeed, the pressure to provide. As y'all daddy, y'all daddy, husband, whatever. But that becomes a pressure.
yeah,
And those athletes and those kids, those NFL players, you get injured, man. I watch sometime when some of these cats get injured. All I see is tears.
yeah.
These college boys, they get injured.
What?
All I see is tears.
One of them cause one thing about it is like most of the time they using the game as their way out.
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
So if they get hurt, they feel like that's could potentially, you know, in their way out, you know, versus a kid that come from he playing out of the love of the game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But now, since we talking about, you know, the mental health and sports, I wonder how many, you know, some kids can benefit from playing sports.
Right.
They got a day-to-day battle, they, you know, their demons they got to deal with. And that's kind of like a relief to what they ain't got to deal with at that point.
Right.
They can focus on something else. And then, of course, as soon as it's over with, you know, that demon comes back up again.
Right.
Yep.
But how many kids is pushed to the side because they battle their demons and pushed out of athletics because they don't want to deal with it.
I don't know. I want that too.
But-
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Cause it's like
I mean, because everybody can't.
everybody ain't gonna accept it.
No, everybody's not gonna accept it. Everybody can't handle it. Everybody wants to be able to coach a kid who doesn't have any luggage with it. And,
Wow. That's
and
so true, man.
you know,
So true,
a lot of time in this world
The,
right now.
the ones that it's easy to coach.
Yeah.
Yes.
No problem.
Some kids have luggage, and sometimes these kids can't even help the fact they got luggage.
Yeah.
But you know, we want to like shun them and just focus on the ones who fit our picture. You know, which I don't necessarily agree with it,
Yeah.
because those same athletes that you're praising, it's no different than the ones that you're not.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
They need that same type of, you know, love too. But obviously, off the time they do get shunned.
Yeah, it's so hard to hear that conversation. We love our kids when there are so many that don't feel that same love as the others. Because you hear it all. You hear it in any program. You hear it from anywhere, man. You're like, man, they didn't give me that. And so a lot of them kids come to school, and we go back to what we talked about a week ago about athletics. A lot of those people with those mental illness and dealing with those conditions, that home life, they need athletics. They need those kids. It's in their program. They need to feel like they're a part of something.
Yeah.
Because then that's when they get lost, when they feel like they're not a part of something.
Right.
Kids need that.
I mean, 'cause if you ask me, if you dealing or battling with, you know, mental sickness, and your only relief is to be a part of some type of program to where you feel like, you know, it's family oriented, or you know, or you shown a little attention, and the minute it's gone, who that could be what tipped you to the max. There's no telling what's going to
You know,
transpire.
telling what
behind
you'll
it.
do.
that's why I don't necessarily believe hardly anyone takes that serious as it should. And I'm talking about schools, and all the above.
Yeah.
Again, I said
I think another thing is people need to be more educated about it too.
Right.
You know what I mean? They need to stop making it seem like, you know, that it's something wrong with them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They look. Stop looking down upon these people that really need help. You know what I'm saying?
example. What's the basketball player that Mark Cuban just picked up off the side?
Delonte West.
Delonte West, yeah.
How many folks was making fun of that guy?
Man,
How many people making fun of that guy, but they didn't extend a hand to help?
right. I seen so many people taking pictures of him, sharing pictures of him, all over the internet, laughing, hee ha ha. But the man needed help. He had a mental disorder.
Right.
Something wrong with him.
Right. You know, regardless if sometimes he denied it, you know, and went back. Man, you still gotta check on them, be there for the dude. Because I mean, you can't make them, but you know, you still gotta be there and check on them no matter what. Until one day, you know, like Mark Cuban rolled up on him and he wanted to help. He decided he wanted to help.
And then it's like somebody that has a mental disorder like that. When he was playing and had all the money, y'all wanted to be around him and help him.
Yeah.
I mean, and of course, that disorder that he had didn't just happen. No, he had it when he had the money. You just tolerated him because
he had the money.
Because he had the money.
Exactly.
I mean, that's no different than, you know, seeing people post videos of people on side of the road. They may be schizophrenic. They might be talking to themselves.
Right.
And they want to he and high. Like,
that ain't funny.
It ain't funny. Like, you think somebody want to be out there on side of the road talking to itself? No.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
and they might not even know what they doing.
You don't know the trauma whatever trauma happened that caused that guy or girl to be in that state of mind. Like, but I guess we in the judging where, you know, we so quick that we want to judge and, you know, point the finger at everybody, especially if it doesn't have to do with us. That's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what happens. No, we wanna make jokes and point fingers, and oftentimes just give up on that person.
Yeah, man.
All because of this phone. All because of the internet. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I mean, but just to think about it though. Like, if I want to know if there's a study on the people that actually have mental health issues, and how many people like actually like cut ties with them.
I'm pretty sure it's a lot.
I guarantee it's more. The percentage is on the end where they got left alone versus, man, we stuck it out and tried to help them.
And that's why they created psychiatric hospitals. So, man, people drop literally right here in this town. People get dropped off at behavioral units because their family say, I can't do it no more.
Let me say something, like if y'all was coaching and you knew this kid had issues, but he couldn't play, but he wanted to be part of the team, what would y'all do?
I'm built for that.
The thing about me, I think if I'm a coach, I'll be a player's coach.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I try to, even with the kids I done been around, work with, whether they was the least talented, most talented, whatever, I try my best to, like, be understanding and be helpful in any kind of way. So whether he could play, whether he can't play, it don't make a difference to me. You know what I'm saying? As long as the kid is out here, is trying his best and giving his best effort, that's all you can ask for.
But on the cool, oftentimes coaches will go way beyond for somebody that can play and won't do a damn thing for somebody that can't play.
I keep those closer, man, because they need it. They need it.
And the thing is, like, I never understood this, but I had a coach who would kind of like, it's kind of weird that we're talking about this, but in high school, he would kind of like keep me to a distance. He was my coach, but I'm like, hey, coach, why you don't treat me like whoop the whoop? Why you don't pick me up and, you know? But now that I'm grown, I look back at it, those other kids needed it more than I did.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now that I'm thinking about that, that's crazy that you say that, because he really was like that. Like, I was the star player, but he would treat them almost kind of better than he would treat me. But they needed it though.
Yeah.
They needed it.
But to me, if you ask me, that's rare.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you
And
ask me,
I've never seen that again.
yeah, that's
I've
rare.
never seen, and his name is Coach Harris. I'm gonna shout him out because he's still coach over there at LE right now. You know what I'm saying? And I talk to him,
Yeah.
quite often. But his name Coach Harris. I'm gonna shout him out for doing that because that is rare.
I mean,
That is rare.
just like some of the stuff we talked about last week when we brought up, we talking about coaches going to the classroom getting grades.
Mhm.
Again, if you had somebody on that team that has issues that wasn't no star player,
They wouldn't do. They'll let him fail.
They'll just to get him out of the program.
They'll let him fail.
And then what are we doing with this kid? Now you actually put him out there for bad because now what his relief or some way to get away from the world he has to live with every day.
Right.
Now you took it from him.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, people don't quite understand, when you're dealing with this mental stuff, like what damage you can be doing just by removing yourself from him or taking something from him that he needs
Yeah.
or she needs.
Yeah.
And a lot of times sports do become these kids and, escape.
Yep.
I bet it'd be kind of scary if you knew exactly like what goes on in some of these kids' heads.
Yeah.
I mean, like far as suicidal thoughts. I think that's kind of like not paid close enough attention to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because for one, a lot of times the kids that actually have mental issues and it's obvious, they get picked on.
Yep.
Whether it's in the streets, at the school,
At home.
in the locker room,
At home.
at home, they get picked on, and then which leads to them wanting to lead this world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, it's like they can't win. And I guarantee you, people don't actually take the time and actually think about that.
Right.
Nah.
Think about that what kids that have to deal with that have to go through outside of the other stuff they have to go outside. No, they got to deal with.
It's one of them things that I think the whole mental, disease and disorder just get swept under the rug, bro.
Yeah.
They just sweep the whole thing under the rug when it needs to be actually light shed on it.
And you hear these conversations in the locker rooms growing up. As a kid, they're not buying in. Hell, they don't know you don't know what's going on at the crib.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on in the classroom. They got the pressure of the classroom, pressure of the house, pressure to perform out here. You just can't turn that off. You can't just turn that off. Have you ever got them one-on-one, took them out
see what's
and
going
said,
on.
man,
And it's the difference in kids just cutting up and then having a mental disorder.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
it's people want to throw
They throw it all in the same.
all in the same.
That's not
in
the same thing.
box.
No.
Some kids don't have half the people that. It's the first thing somebody do something. Oh, he just crazy. No, it's not. I said
He
he's
might have
bad.
some, yeah, he might.
They don't have anything. A lot of times, they don't have anything to do with mental issue. Everybody's want to throw everybody in the same box. So that's why, if you ask me, when it comes to the mental health, especially when it comes to school and sports, it's kind of like whatever, because they want to throw everybody in the same box. And it ain't like that. Some of these kids actually do have issues.
Yep. And the first time, what's so crazy? Then the first time I ever had like a, what you call that, where they like, where you sit down with a counselor and they try to check on you and see if you have mental issues.
Mhm.
Mental evaluation. The first time I had a mental evaluation is when I was going to juvenile.
Mm.
It's too late now. I'm in the system.
Yeah.
I don't have mental problems, but I'm just saying that happens. Like kids, going into these schools, they never have a mental evaluation.
Mm.
Never. First time I'm having a mental evaluation, I'm getting booked into a juvenile. That was the first time.
And I guess no. Mm.
That's crazy.
And I guess something like that. If you actually took the time to actually did evaluation, you can determine.
Yeah,
So you know how to proceed.
Yeah,
throughout.
if all these kids had a mental evaluation then we could see, okay, this guy may have some red flags because, they got professionals that can detect that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, or even trigger it and make them, react a certain way. So,
I mean, it would be something, but they won't do it.
they'll never do that. They'll never do that.
Because the green,
Yeah, the money.
it costs too much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people
They'll
never
never do
do it
that. It
because
costs
for
too
one, if you ask me, something like that needs to be done, maybe every 3 years, because this first 3 years, first 2 years, life could have been great.
Right. Something might happen.
Some trauma happens, even death. No.
Yeah.
Death can trigger something totally different too. You never know, a kid, mom, dad, or whoever was guardian, whoever was raising them, could have passed. Nobody knows how this is going to actually affect that kid. I mean, everybody knows the same. The saying is, every time something happens, especially with death, I hate when people do that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna get better.
Man,
you don't
you
get
don't
your
know
ass
that.
on.
You don't know that.
How do you know something's gonna get
You
better?
can't. Everybody deal with it differently.
Like, you don't know.
Yes.
And that's everybody's go-to when it comes to some trauma. Oh, it's gonna get better. Shut up.
You don't know.
You don't know.
You can just hope it get better
If
for
you
'em.
ain't dealt with it, you sure the hell don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you have dealt with it, that was you.
That's why they diagnose it as post-traumatic syndrome disorder. And you're correct, Monica Kelly. The school has focused on testing now that more than the evaluation of children.
Yeah, because it make them look better.
Yeah, make them look better. Give them
We got these such and such scores and woo
Yeah.
woo and make the school.
and the
look better.
ones that can't do it, they meet with their parents and say, "Can we put them over in this special education
Oh
class?"
my God!
To,
Modified.
Modify them.
Where they take a test, they got 2 answer choices instead of 4.
Yeah.
And
Because we don't want to hurt
I
our money.
know. Yeah.
Facts.
Y'all better quit.
I mean, man. Just thinking about it, sometimes it gets sickening.
I almost went the whole rant just then. Man. I had to quit. Catch
It
myself.
gets sickening because some you don't know. And of course, the show is about mental health and sports, but in the day, I'm only focused on the kids that's in the school. I feel like even though the adults still need help,
It started with the kids though.
but it starts with the kids.
Right.
And just like I know a guy that I deal with that is having to come home from this particular school he was playing football at,
Yeah.
all because of his mental health. Like, the school pretty much like
Wash their hands.
we don't want this headache.
Yeah.
So they got rid of him. Like, is that what that kid really needed? No.
No.
If you ask me, no.
No.
Like, that's not what he needed. Like,
That was
if,
the
if
last
he already
thing.
battling whatever else he's battling, now y'all give him something else to battle.
That was the last thing he needed.
That was the last thing he needed. Even if you just kept him on for the ride. You know what I mean? Like,
You gave him the scholarship.
at least he had a distraction for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now you just told him that your service no longer needed. So what are you supposed to do now? So I'm saying we so quick to throw a kid away that has luggage with him, and actually he's pretty talented. But if he was out there committing crimes, he'd still in that field. That's what's crazy.
That is crazy. Because if you commit a crime, they'll find a way to try to get you another chance or get you back on the field.
Make one call. Some alumni, some lawyer, get them out of trouble.
I mean, real talk, like, man, it's crazy on what. I mean, really, because nobody never talk about mental health.
No, they
Nobody.
don't. Like I said, the first time I ever had a mental evaluation, I was in Greenville, Texas. I got shipped off to a juvenile detention center. I was 16 years old. That was the first time I ever had a mental evaluation. Ever. I'm already 16.
Mm.
That
Oh.
is.
I don't know, man. I know, cause some people don't want to hear what we having to say, because those are the same people
That's
that
part
shun
of,
it.
that's a problem.
That shun it. A lot of kids, because that was the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
It's always what's the easiest thing to do, and the easiest thing to do just
Don't do nothing.
don't do anything to write a kid off.
Yep.
I mean, that is the easiest thing
Yeah.
versus actually getting her some help.
Yeah.
I mean, just for instance, just say a little girl gets molested by her uncle, dad, mama's boyfriend as a young age, right? Who knows what she's gonna deal with throughout her life?
For the rest of her life.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like who knows? Like you don't know. I mean, sometimes you just open your mind sometime and think. Like who knows? She may be okay right now. Maybe. You don't know when it's gonna hit her.
hit, yeah.
Like you don't know.
That trauma, man. I mean, it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Because how you manage it, how you tell her, how you be there for her is, anytime you need me, call me. Because they might not call every time, but somebody knowing that somebody there for them,
Yeah.
I got you, I got you. And they don't have that.
I mean, but even if somebody was there for him, but you don't know when the accident.
You don't.
If it's gonna be any type of trauma that's gonna affect later on. Like it's like it's kind of like a ticking bomb.
Yeah.
I mean, it's ticking,
And
but how long is it gonna tick before it blow?
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that because I'm guilty of that kind of. I done been in a position where somebody, if I hit somebody maybe 10 years later,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, dang, they still tripping over that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's the wrong thing to do. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I can admit that I've been wrong for doing that.
Yeah.
Because you don't know when it's gonna hit that person. They might have been fine the day after, or years after.
Mm.
That's a deep-rooted issue, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't.
Ain't a lot like this past maybe I think I guess 4 months ago. I lost my grandpa, and it ain't hit me yet.
And that's how it be.
And I don't know when. I know when it's hit. I'd rather be by myself because I don't know how hard it's gonna hit.
Yeah.
But I know it's gonna hit, and I'm not looking forward to it. But I know it's coming. Again, that's something that you don't know what to expect. But that's something that's saying somebody, oh, you'll be all right.
Right.
Nah, bro.
Or like, dang, you just now crying over that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the way to
But
be.
that's not, no, you get that out. I'm a big component. You man, get that out.
Yeah.
You gonna get that out of. You don't got to get it out in a violent way. But man, if it calls you to cry, if it calls you to lay over in the car, lay in your house, man, I'm a big proponent of, man, get that stuff out of you, man.
Yeah.
If you hurt, if you need to talk to somebody about it, get it out of you. Somebody you close with, don't judge.
Listen.
Get it out.
The thing about it is, I ain't soft, weak, or
Me
nothing.
either, bro.
But I'll cry.
Yeah.
If
real talk.
if it affect me in that manner, like I'll release it. Like I done played the most violent sport ever.
Yeah.
and went head on with some of the biggest and baddest. So, ain't nothing wrong with crying.
And then like emotional pain, man. Emotional pain. If you can, physical pain, you can snap your finger in the door right now. And, you gonna say a few things, but emotional pain, it's internal.
Yeah.
It eats at your soul if you don't get that out of your body, man.
What you think about the kid that was a superstar his whole life, but didn't make it, to the professional level? The mental stuff that they go through. What do y'all think about that?
Man,
Cause bro, they lose it. Some of them really lose it.
it's a burden to them, man.
Yeah.
They take it something they work so hard for, to be told, nah, man, you ain't no good. We don't need you. We don't need your service. I mean, these cats got to go and do what next?
Matter of fact, there was a guy from Baylor.
Oh yeah, the running back.
No, the basketball.
The basketball player.
Oh.
I remember this story.
He probably would have been a lottery pick.
Mm.
He was good. He got some type of couple days before the draft, they found he had some type of blood disease, which causes like organ problems.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't. That was
Couldn't
it.
play no more.
But matter of fact, because the night of the draft, they actually like called him because like I said, he was lottery pick.
Right.
They actually like went through the whole deal with the first pick, such and such from such and such. I can't think of his name, but so he got a chance to walk on stage. That right there could have been the tilting point, or enough in his head to like tilt him over the edge, like, and he spiraled down in a way that nobody could stop.
Right.
That's trauma.
That is trauma.
That's trauma.
People don't understand, like, some simple. That is trauma.
Right.
This man don't work hard as he don't work to be able to be
What
the
he is.
position that he was in. That
And
was
then
gonna
it's-
change his life, in a major way. And leading up to the draft, you told, "Hey, we got some news. This is it.
That is trauma, for real. It's trauma.
You will no longer be able to play this game."
Hey, it's trauma. You ain't lying, though.
Like, man, that's I don't know, man.
I mean,
'Cause I done sit there. I sit there during the whole draft watching, staring at my phone, watching. And when you don't get your name called,
that is
boy, you like, man.
that
what
pressure
is-
of anxiety.
What's next? You don't know.
When they go in the draft board room, you see cats. When they call somebody's name, I'm a watcher. If you look around, cats will be like this. You know,
Yeah.
cat's head going down. Every moment you could say that the meaning is changing.
Yeah.
Because they know it. Every time they slip, they just know my name ain't been called yet. That's their profession.
Yeah.
They left college early to join
when
this
you don't-
profession.
And when it's something like you banking on this to happen so bad and it don't happen, bro, that's trauma. And that's what I was talking about right there. You see that coming?
What's that?
Oh,
Yeah, I got you.
That's what I was talking about. You know, he kind of took it hard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he went through some trauma, and people looking at him like something wrong with him. Like, nah, it ain't nothing wrong. He just need to be checked on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He need to make sure. They need to make sure he all right. You know, cause he going through something. Like you been this, and people held you to this your whole life. Then you don't make it to that level that they thought you was. They gonna turn their back on you. You like, man, what's going on? Some people not gonna understand it. That's the
No,
thing.
they're
I'm
not gonna understand.
I'm understanding. You know what I'm saying? I know they was there along the ride using you, woo to woo, whatever. I get it.
That's why people don't like to hear me say Plan B as
Yeah.
a young kid. I mean, because even though you're telling young children that, man, I'm telling you Plan B, but this really your Plan A, because your Plan A don't necessarily be the case. Trying to help you manage what life is really about, because we all know the NFL life. I mean, you know it
Yeah.
more than I do. That the NFL, the sport that's professional life is in men's sports is a short shelf life.
Short, bro.
If
Short.
you're not there, so that's where the mental anguish and and that type of pressure comes from, especially for the African American athlete.
Yeah, cause I mean,
All they know, and when all they know is that one thing.
Cause like we said before, we looking at it as our way out. You
Yeah.
know?
Fact.
You banking on changing your family life based off this, but when it don't happen, first of all, everybody turn their back on you. You know what I'm saying? Because at first they thought you was gonna do it, so
Right.
they got your back whoop to whoop. But when it don't happen, they turn their back on you, and it's traumatizing for
Yeah.
some people. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I bet if you go to these schools to where, they're not saying African Americans the only one who deals with, a rough upbringing, because
Right, 'cause
that's not the case.
That's far
because-
from
Yeah,
the truth.
that's far.
Yeah, that's far from the case. You can be living in a $500,000 house and still have a rough upbringing.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but if you ask me, African Americans are more prone to have a rough upbringing than most, obviously because of the situation that we be put in.
Mm-hmm.
And you take those kids and actually sit all of them down, I bet you'll be amazed on what actually goes on through those kids' heads on a day-to-day basis.
That's why I said just a simple mental evaluation of these kids. You will be amazed. You will probably be amazed at what we find. You know what I'm saying? like you said, just go through these kids' head, you'll be amazed at what you find.
I guarantee you'll be amazed.
There should be a requirement, and not be privacy or HIPAA laws, but some type of requirement to do that.
Yeah, they need to
but
do that.
again, far as like the coaching part of it, coaches just want to coach. You know how long it'll take to sit all their players down and talk to their players thoroughly,
Man,
not half-ass it.
being a coach is more than X's and O's.
I mean, because we discussed that too, but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but
Way more than
Way
that.
more.
I mean, in reality though, like if those guys took the time and said, okay, man, we're not worrying about no football right now. We worrying about y'all as human beings.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, you human first.
Right.
Hell with the game of sports, man. That life is bigger than that.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's
And you take the time and see it and talk to these kids. I don't give a damn. It take a month. You missing a month or whatever you got going on your program,
Yeah.
ain't gonna kill you.
Cause man, I'm telling you, when you sit down and talk to them kids, they'll tell you something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you just open up your ears and listen.
Man, they'll tell you something, and then you'll be like, man, that's why he act how he act. He ain't ate in 2 days. He gripey.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, but again, you won't know that.
You
though.
won't know that
Unless
know
you
what I'm
ask.
saying? Yeah.
You won't know that.
Man, why I can't get him to do this? Why I can't get him to do that? He hungry. You don't know that?
Yeah.
He ain't finna say it in front of everybody.
No.
I mean, but you don't know that. I said it off the time again. A lot of coaches put the emphasis on just their main players.
Yeah.
Damn, those main players ain't the one who got issues.
Nope.
Everybody do.
Nope.
You know what I mean? So that's what I wish schools, coaches would stop doing. Is putting their focus on their main people and not all their people.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I said they human first. Who gives a damn if they're not gonna go D1?
All right.
Like who
Cares?
cares? You know what I mean? Like it's bigger than
Statistics say you ain't gonna have, you lucky to have 1 or 2 of them anyway.
Right.
Go
Facts.
get one.
Yeah. Make
That's-
the impact, man.
That's the statistics anyway.
Kid will give you his all if you show him that you really truly cared about him.
Yeah.
They'll give you. They want to play for you.
yo. And thing about it though, kids also know when you full of it too.
Oh my God. You think they don't?
Yeah.
First of all, they question everything anyway.
Yeah. Anyway,
So
and you gonna show them. They gonna see it. They gonna.
if
They
you
gonna
ain't
sniff
being
it out.
real, they know that.
They gonna sniff it out.
Yeah.
One way or the other. They gonna sniff it out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like I mean it ain't up to the school, nor it is up to the coach. Like I said, coaches they get paid to do one job, and that's the coach. I said it's the special ones that go way and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
Real talk.
But at the same time, the school has these kids more than their own parents do.
They do.
So if you ask me, it does become the school responsibility.
Yeah.
Because they're not gonna get it nowhere else.
Especially if you're dealing with athletes, bro. Y'all want these kids be at school from 8 to 3, and then they got practice, and they don't get home to 6. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, just like you said, what you just said just a minute ago, when we were talking about if you actually sit down to all these kids and put sports to the side for a minute and get to the know inside of what's going on in their brain, and you said the fact that he acting like this, well I didn't know that he ain't ate in 3 days,
That really happens.
and when he do eat, it's just a little bit because he got to spread amongst his siblings.
I got 6 brothers and sisters in here.
Like,
Right.
I mean, so with that being said, you take the whole school system, 90 kids that play sports, and I want to know how many kids actually does eat when they go home.
Bro, it's
How many kids sits in classroom thinking about, man, I know I ain't gonna eat tonight.
bro, that happens a lot. Like the only time they eat is at school. And then they charge you they sometimes they make you pay for that, and then you know what I'm saying?
But think about what Donnie said before that. He said schools have your kids more than you.
Yeah, I mean, facts.
Parents have to go to work to take care of their kids. These kids show up to school every day, and the school gets money from the state for these kids being at the school, for being in the school. So you should put more money back into these kids, and not just into these beautiful edifices that you have, these buildings. I mean, because these kids, You look at some of the schools in the state of Texas. I just want to say in the state of Texas how big they are.
Yeah, and how fancy.
Yeah, they are, and
Yeah.
because these kids show up every day. All these kids show up every day. Some of these underprivileged, poverty-stricken kids show up every day. They live in the gutters and the slums, living empty, and not even rich, living in big houses, big empty houses. But the school's getting more out of it because if the kid don't pass, guess what? School still get money.
I mean, but on the cool though, like knowing I'm not gonna eat today, knowing I'm gonna eat tomorrow.
This all I got.
Or the next day.
This all I got is this school lunch.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm getting to school kind of late. Mom and them can't get me there early enough to get breakfast. All I got is this school lunch. That's
yeah,
it.
man, that right there alone would be trauma.
Yeah, it is.
It don't. I know that's trauma.
Nah, it is.
Trauma.
Bro, all I got is, bro, I'm going to eat this at school. This is all I got. This is all I got.
I mean,
That's
real
trauma.
talk, that's trauma that can trigger something else. I mean, like real talk, that can and a lot of the older, if you ask me, a lot of the older kids, they got younger kids, younger siblings, shall I say? They're gonna make sure the younger ones eat before they do.
Yeah.
And which again, like, so now that older one is a ticking time bomb. So when you have an outburst in school or in a locker room, whether with a teacher, with a coach, well, we're just gonna send them home. We're just gonna send them home. 3 days, 10 days.
Get suspended for 3-4 days.
Yeah, but you didn't get to the root of the problem.
Yeah, and that was the only way he was eating at school. Now he at home for 3-4 days, suspended.
Yeah, but now we didn't get to the root of the problem. We just made the problem worse.
Right.
Because that kid used school to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's at home. What is he gonna do now?
I know what I do. I do what I gotta do.
And
For real.
which coming to which and that right there becomes a whole nother issue because guess what? A lot of kids like, man, if I ain't got no food, mama give me no food to take. What they gonna do? They gonna go to the store.
Oh, steal.
Start putting stuff in your pocket that you
Yeah,
don't pay
you
for.
gonna start stealing. You gonna
That's
start
what
dealing.
Tupac Shakur said, right? We knocked on your door, asked for it, you wouldn't help us. You know, we knocked again, you would ask for it, you wouldn't help us. So what we do the next time?
I mean, but that do be the case though.
Yeah,
that do be the case. You know, sometimes people just have to open their eyes and don't make it just about your kid. I mean, if the Lord done bless you to where you living comfortable, your kids ain't gotta want. Open your eyes and look past your kids under your roof.
Reach out and help.
And because, just like we talking about it now, it's obvious there's kids that need help.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times, us as adults only focus on our own. We're not worrying about somebody else's. As long as I was eating, help the next. And it shouldn't be that way.
Nah.
Because there shouldn't be a kid in Texarkana that go hungry. But there's so many every day. There's a kid hungry right now because he didn't eat last night.
Yeah.
But we're not concerned because our kids ate. But that's the world we live in, though. And it's crazy, the fact that, you know, as an adult, and especially if you grew up and from the hood and whatnot, and you had to experience and live and battle that struggle, you out of all people should be wanting to help.
Especially if you made it out of it.
Yeah.
But those are often the people that
Turn their back.
turn their back.
Yeah.
Like, that used to be you. That kid that was hungry in classroom, stomach growling, got a headache because he ain't ate. Now he's angry. That used to be you. But now you in position to help. Oh, I ain't got time for that. I ain't worried about that. My kid's good. That's how it be now. That's just how it is. We get so focused on worrying about our own the kids under our roof. It's like the hell with everybody else.
Right. And that ain't how it should be.
It ain't. I mean, man, it's it's kind of sickening to when you actually think about it, because there's a lot of, just in Texarkana alone, there's a lot of kids, and if you actually knew how many of those kids don't get to eat,
I bet it's a lot of them.
man, I bet it's a number that blow your mind.
I bet it is.
And the gentleman texted earlier about, how much the pandemic has affected us even more when it comes to kids not being able to get.
I don't doubt that's made for one, because especially if the parent of that kid that was barely scraping to eat, that pandemic, whatever she was working at,
Don't have a job no more.
the hours got cut.
Yep.
But now I was barely scraping then to feed these kids. My hours got cut.
Yeah.
What the hell I'm gonna do now?
Right.
Then oftentimes that's when Big Brother, I'm gonna go out here and get it.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
And I ain't talking about going to pickpocket. I'm talking about going and give them that corner. That's trauma.
That's trauma. That's the method of trying to take care of yours.
That is what you call trauma. And you don't know,
God, you said it something.
you being 15, 16 years old. Again, like everybody's quote unquote say, oh, you can get a 9-to-5 job. It's easy for you to say that.
Right.
But if this kid don't have transportation, that 9-to-5 job, how you gonna get there?
Gonna lose the same thing, gonna never get it.
Yeah.
I mean, he don't get fired today, he get hired because he ain't got no transportation.
Yep.
But you can do a whole lot out of their house. They can come to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, people understand, like, should you be, partaking in stuff that's gonna put you in jail? No. But in reality,
Some kids don't.
some kids are forced because they don't have no choice.
Yeah.
Because you know why? 'Cause ain't nobody trying to help. If somebody were trying to help that kid, guess what? He went to turn to that.
And some people that didn't come from there, they don't think that's true. You know what I'm saying? They can't see how this happened.
No, facts. But that's facts.
They don't see how this can happen. They're like, what do you mean he had to? Like, he couldn't do this and that. Like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, you just don't get it. They just won't never
No,
get it.
and there's nothing you can say
Nah,
No.
to where they can get it.
they'll never get it, bro. They'll never get it. Because man, like you saying, bro, should these kids be out here committing crime and doing this and the third? No. No, they should not. But it's situations where they don't have a choice.
No, see, people don't
Like,
they don't get it, man.
Should my whole family not eat or wait for somebody to bring us something? But I got buddy down here that's gonna give me this, and I can sell this, that, and the third. And
It's too late. They don't have the broader
Yeah.
understanding. They see it.
Right.
yeah.
I mean,
But like Dunny said, like, dude, okay, I go get a job. How I'm gonna get there? We don't got no car.
yeah, we ain't got no
Right.
car. Like, all this stuff factor in, and the people that point fingers and look and say you should do this, you should do that.
And then you have a million people saying, "Well, you should have called me for a ride. Well, I could have took you every day." Well, man, no, you wouldn't. Man.
That's gonna work twice, and then that phone don't ring
Yeah,
no more.
bro.
Then
You're
you
not finna go get that person
You
every day and
ignoring
take
it.
No.
them.
Come on,
You're not
man.
finna do that,
Don't
bro.
do that. Don't even set that up. Don't even set yourself up. Like
You're not doing that.
You're gonna,
So
you gonna
stop.
fail that kid.
No, real talk. Like, man, like people can't fathom some of the stuff that some kids have to go through,
Yeah,
because for one, they never went through it and probably never will. I mean, some people when you are born, you got that spoon in your mouth.
right.
Some kids,
And don't
it don't be that way.
And don't get me wrong, I don't wanna, cause I used to be one of them kids that like look down on the kids that had that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But in our reality, sometimes they folks just handle their business.
Yeah, I mean, but no, you can't look down.
But
at
that's
the
how I
kid.
used to do though, and
Oh,
that's
gotcha.
wrong. That's wrong. I used to do that, like kind of look down at the kids that had more than I had. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it shouldn't be like that either. You know.
Nah,
But at the same time,
I mean, but you saying that's rare anyway.
Right.
That's rare. You looking down at somebody.
Nah,
that,
for real,
They got something.
They got something.
Hey,
real.
listen though, believe it or not, they do that.
Yeah.
They do that. Like, man,
Bro.
he ain't woo to woo. He came from Silver Spoon, woo to woo. You know, he ain't this, that, and the third. Bro, they do that. They do that.
I told myself growing up as an adult, I vowed to myself to my kids will never experience what it feel like to have lights off
Right.
for weeks.
Oh yeah, you ain't lying.
I vowed that because I experienced that life.
But at the same time, we can vow and say a whole lot. With this world you live in,
you don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know.
Nah, you don't know.
you don't know.
Cause everything you got can be gone tomorrow.
Yep.
Just like that. Hey, just like that. The man, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this show up. Hey, we need y'all to, if you don't mind, to hit share, and hopefully, you hitting share, somebody can press play and actually listen to some of the words that's being said up here today.
Yeah.
We'll feed somebody today.
No doubt. So, I say if y'all would hit the share button, so we can spread whatever we were trying to do up here, and let some ears that may that's in position to help, and they just need to hear it from a different perspective. They may cause them to want to go out there and help. So, with that being said, if the Lord say so. Oh no, wait a minute.
Hold on.
Yeah, we got an announcement to make right now. If you're not wanting to go to the LE and PG game, if you don't want to sit in the stands, you can watch it live stream on Tez County Game Day, YouTube,
And their website, right?
yeah, and tskgameday.com, because the couch is
Don't tell
calling
them
the
why,
game.
Yes, sir. Tune in.
Make sure you tune in.
Tune in.
Hey, cause this is gonna be epic right here. The couch is calling the game tonight. LE versus PG varsity boys basketball game.
That tonight?
Yes, tonight.
This is gonna be fun.
Ain't no telling what I might say. I'm apologizing now.
Hey, so make sure y'all tune in that tonight, because it's going to be crazy. With that being said, hey, if Lord say so, we'll be back in the morning. This is the best sports show on this side of heaven, because my mama said so.
So I bet they call it travel.